My fellow Americans, the war in Afghanistan is now over.
On the day after the last soldier left the longest, costliest war in American history, President Joe Biden today fiercely defending his withdrawal from Afghanistan.
To those asking for a third decade of war in Afghanistan, I ask, what is the vital national interest?
While highlighting the 120,000 people evacuated from Afghanistan, President Biden also acknowledging the Americans left behind.
The bottom line, 90% of Americans in Afghanistan who wanted to leave were able to leave. And for those remaining Americans, there is no deadline. We remain committed to get them out if they want to come out.
His presidency forever marked by a chaotic close to a decades-long war he inherited. One of the final searing images, that horrific suicide bombing at the airport last week as thousands desperately tried to get on any plane they could. The McCollum family is painfully familiar with the ultimate sacrifice paid during the tumultuous withdrawal from Afghanistan.
Everybody that he met, he touched their life in some way. He was special. Anytime you would talk to him, you knew he was genuine. Funny, wise beyond his years.
Riley McCollum was just 20 years old, one of the 13 American service members who died in the Kabul airport terror attack.
Riley wanted to be a Marine since he was 3 years old. He would run around in a diaper and my pink princess cowboy boots, or snow boots when he was little, with his toy rifle, and he was either pretending to be hunting or pretending to be a Marine running through the bushes. It was something he wanted to do and talk to everyone about.
He wanted me to be proud of him, which I was. He just didn't know it. So he enlisted, and on his 18th birthday, he said, I'm going.
Riley got married on Valentine's Day. It was just a small wedding that he wanted to make sure that they were together before he left.
Gigi confirmed that they were pregnant. It changed him immediately. He was ready, and he embraced it just like he did everything else. They ended up actually deploying in April, and he thought he would be back in time for the birth of his baby.
His commander came in his room and said, pack your bags and we'll be in Afghanistan within the next 24 hours.
We lost contact with Riley about 3 weeks ago. I would get online every day. If his little Facebook Messenger icon had the green light next to it, I knew he was good. Last week, the light never came on. 3:30 that morning, I got the knock on the door, and the two Marines were standing on the porch. And that, I knew as soon as I looked out the window that Riley was one of the Marines that had died.
Of those 13, 12 were in their 20s. The oldest was 31. They were brand new to what they were doing. It is the commander-in-chief who ultimately makes the decision where to send people, why to send them. His own son served. It is not his fault. There was a terrorist attack, but every commander-in-chief knows that they are the ones who send the military, so that hangs heavy in their heart.
The McCollum family went to Delaware on Sunday to receive Riley's casket.
It was too difficult for me to speak really to any of the other families.
And he died a hero, and he died doing what he wanted to be doing. And I can't ask for any more than that.
The McCollum family, now one of 13 families grieving. Marine Corps Sergeant Yohani Rosario, Staff Sergeant Darren Taylor Hoover, Marine Corps Corporal Hunter Lopez, Marine Corps Corporal Deegan William Taylor Page, Marine Corps Lance Corporal David Espinoza, Navy Corpsman Maxton Soviak, Marine Lance Corporal Jared Schmitz, Marine Corps Corporal Umberto Sanchez, Marine Lance Corporal Dylan Mirola, Marine Lance Corporal Kareem Nakoe, Army Staff Sergeant Ryan Noss, Marine Sergeant Nicole G. She was just 23 years old, featured in a Defense Department photo cradling an Afghan baby, posting on Instagram, "I love my job."
They came in and just selflessly put themselves at risk, selflessly worked themselves to the bone, trying to get people they'd never met, knew nothing about, but just knew that they were Americans or knew that they'd helped Americans.
Any American looks at that suicide bombing and 13 young Americans dying while holding babies in their arms and says, how could that happen? Why were they in such a vulnerable position?
I don't think the military should have been there that close to that gate, but I don't think that was a military mistake. I think that that was a policy mistake. The military was there doing their best and doing what they thought was right.
I am a little angry with President Biden over this. I don't put all the blame on him. And it's not one administration. There's several administrations that are involved in this. It's been one bad decision after another.
Jim McCollum refused to meet with President Biden at the dignified transfer ceremony.
Part of it's political, and part of it is the absolute utter failure of what they did and how they did things after being in Afghanistan for 20 years. I do believe some of this was all for naught.
I did not see the president at the transfer. He came in and I chose to go sit in a separate room with another family who wasn't interested in seeing him. I came out for just a moment and I saw him and I broke down completely at the thought of him kneeling at our flag so many times, and then to come in and say he cares about our soldiers and to say that he has sympathy for our Marines. I have zero respect, absolutely none.
You squarely stand by your decision to pull out.
Yes, I do.
The administration and all these press conferences are sort of conflating everything. Was the evacuation mission a success? They got out more than 120,000 people. It is an historic airlift, but that is not the issue. It's that the president said, we are not going to leave people behind, and we did.
ISIS-K taking responsibility for the blast that killed those 13 American troops, raising the fear that Afghanistan could become a safe haven for terrorism once again. President Biden ordering a counterstrike immediately.
We will not forgive. We will not forget. We will hunt you down and make you pay.
America's so-called forever war finally over. Yet up to 200 Americans still remain in the country.
There's a lot of heartbreak associated with this departure. We did not get everybody out that we wanted to get out.
There are two outcomes for U.S. citizens left in Afghanistan. One is that the Taliban rounds them up, throws them in prison, or worse. The other is that the Taliban sees that it's in their interest to find those American citizens and see them safely back to the U.S. And they're going to have to show that they're the new Taliban, despite everybody believing that they're still the old Taliban.
When the Taliban was last in power, has created an enormous level of panic that this is the same Taliban that's coming back. People feel that this is actually a more menacing and a more strategic Taliban. It's devastating to see yet another generation lose their homes, their identities, their pasts, and face an uncertain and insecure future.
The Afghans were never left with a choice. They believed us when we said that we would help rebuild their nation. We gave them hopes and dreams, and the rug has now been pulled from beneath their feet.
Final Hours, America's longest war, chronicling America's withdrawal from Afghanistan, streaming only on Hulu.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.